Here we are back in the Athlete's Kitchen, and today we're going to make kale chips. And not many people have had kale chips, but I think they're a great food for both ourselves and for our families. Kids actually tend to love them. Anytime the word chip is in the word, they tend to gravitate towards something like that. But it's going to be a much healthier variety of a chip, a really great snack. So kale is a green leafy vegetable, and it's really, really nutritious. So kale is high in vitamin K, it's high in vitamin C, it's going to be a good source of fiber. It's just a really great vegetable. In fact, it's called a superfood because it is so nutrient rich. And kale chips are a quick and easy way to get a healthy source of kale. So when we're cooking kale, it's really easy to prep it, and here's a bowl of prepared kale. All I did was I just rinsed off the kale stems, and I pulled off the leaves and kind of broke them into little pieces. And so this is what we find here. You want to make sure you wash them pretty well. They'll have some grit on them if they're not washed beforehand when you buy them in the supermarket. But other than that, pretty minimal preparation. So then we'll take this bowl of kale. I'm just going to add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And olive oil always helps with the roasting process to bring out the flavors of foods. We're going to add some salt and pepper. And I'd say about a teaspoon. I'm just going to eyeball it and add some salt. Add some fresh ground pepper. Now you can use a spoon and you can use some other stirring utensil to stir it up, but I actually like to use my hands because I find it really mixes up the ingredients and sort of integrates the salt and pepper and olive oil into the kale chips. So, and I'll make sure I'm close to my baking sheet, so that way when I'm transporting it, I'm not transporting it a far distance. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up. Make sure that that olive oil is getting spread around. And I will tell you this, I have also in a pinch if I am in a hurry and I don't want to be washing several dishes. Sometimes I just mix the olive oil, salt and pepper right on the baking sheet, and then you eliminate the step of having to wash another bowl. But if I do have time, I think it is a little bit easier to be able to do it in the bowl. It makes it a little cleaner and it confines the space a little bit better. So this is nice and mixed. And then I'm literally just going to transport this onto the baking sheet. Now it depends on how big your bunch of kale is. Sometimes I'll use 2 baking sheets if I find that it's stacking up too high. But if we can get into somewhat of an even layer, then I won't worry about it. I'll just do it onto 1 baking sheet. And I think this is just fine. If it were any bigger, any bulkier, I would probably do 2 baking sheets. But this is great. And the thing with kale is that kale will cook down. So when we pull it out of the oven, you'll see that it actually seems like it has shrunk in size. And that's partly because as we roast it, the water evaporates out. And so we're going to get this nice roasted, rich kale flavor. So we're going to put it in the oven, and I've set the oven to 400 degrees. And then in 10 minutes, we'll check back in with the kale. And we're going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese, put it back in for another 5 minutes, and we're going to have these delicious kale chips. So we're ready to pull out our kale chips. Set them on the counter. Always make sure you set them on a space that is safe for hot plates. I'm just going to sprinkle about a 1/4 cup Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese is a great flavoring for foods because it has a really sharp flavor. So for those of us who like cheese and have a hard time reducing the amount of cheese in our diet because of its saturated fat content, Parmesan cheese is a great option because of its sharp flavor. We just don't need to add as much. So if you were adding like a cheddar cheese or a Colby Jack or a more mild cheese, then you probably need to add more to get its flavor. Whereas with Parmesan, a 1/4 cup will actually be plenty for these kale chips. So I've just sprinkled it on. I made sure it didn't clump up and it's all spread out. And we're just going to throw it back in for another 5 minutes. So we're going to spend 5 minutes since we added the Parmesan cheese. We're going to pull our kale chips out. Watch out for the steam that comes out. You can see that they're nice and roasted, slightly browned. Now when you're at home and you're doing this, I like to let them sit just even for 10 minutes because they'll actually crisp up as they dry a little bit. But just for today, we'll just throw them right into a bowl. And you see they're nice and crispy. And I can't tell you how many times at parties or just get-togethers I've served these with people who've never eaten kale before and were a little skeptical, I won't lie. And I actually have never had anyone, and I probably served this over a dozen times, I've never had anyone say they did not like the kale chips. So you have to at least try it before you say that this wouldn't be an option for you. Again, it's a great way to get a green leafy vegetables, good source of vitamin K, lots of other good heart-healthy nutrients. So here you go, and people can just pick them up, or you can serve them with tongs, but they're ready to go, ready to eat, and they really are delicious.